A faint tremor runs through the air before anyone understands it. A soft vibration that slides beneath the noise of a waking world. It's not an earthquake. It's not a storm. It's something else, something that feels like a breath caught in the throat of the planet. The sky is still a sleepy blue. Streetlights still buzz. Alarms still beep. And coffee machines still hum. But in the small space between one heartbeat and the next, the atmosphere changes. The air sharpens. The light shifts. And a strange pressure settles over cities like an invisible hand pressing gently, almost politely, on the world's shoulders. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you never miss another cinematic deep dive into the stories the world hopes it never has to live through. Now take a breath, because from this moment on, everything begins to tilt toward the unimaginable. The morning begins normally for most. People wake to the glow of smartphone alarms, stretching in warm beds, scrolling through messages, checking weather updates, silencing notifications. Children pull on backpacks, commuters brew coffee, electric cars hum quietly in garages as smart home systems flicker to life, their digital assistants greeting their owners with overly cheerful voices. But beneath the surface, tiny anomalies begin to appear, too small to alarm anyone, yet too synchronized to be accidental. Smartphone screens glitch for a split second before stabilizing. Wi-Fi connections slow down at the same exact moment in different cities. Traffic lights pause between cycles a fraction longer than usual. Drone delivery networks reroute mid-flight without explanation. Satellites feeding navigation systems stutter, recalibrating in the background. No one notices these things individually, but collectively, they form the first tremors of a world shifting off its axis. On the East Coast, a young woman sits on the edge of her bed, brushing her hair as her smart speaker repeats the same line 3 times without her prompting. "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that." She frowns at the device, then glances toward her window where the early morning sky glows with a faint red edge, the kind that doesn't belong to sunrise. Across a quiet neighborhood, a delivery driver steps into his electric van only to find the dashboard flickering with warning signals that shouldn't be there. System rebooting, navigation offline, battery error, auto drive functions disabled. He sighs, muttering about software updates, unaware that every delivery van within 100 miles is experiencing the same sudden malfunction. In a busy hospital, a nurse checks a patient's chart on her tablet when the device freezes mid-load, then restarts itself without warning. A corridor of lights flickers in a slow wave, one after another, like someone sliding a dimmer switch along the ceiling. She looks to her coworker, who shrugs but doesn't hide the unsettling feeling curling at the base of her spine. The world doesn't know it yet, but these are not glitches. These are ripples, subtle signals of systems reacting to something far beyond human control. At 6:14 a.m. Eastern Time, a soft beep echoes through a global satellite monitoring station. One operator squints at the data stream. A single anomaly, then another, then 6 more. Something rises from somewhere in Central Eurasia, too fast, too bright, too synchronized. He leans closer, sweat prickling his neck. It's not a meteor shower. Meteors don't follow symmetrical trajectories. He whispers, "That can't be right," and rechecks the feed. Another warning pops up, then another. His supervisor steps in. Then the room goes silent as the screen confirms the unconfirmable. Multiple high-velocity launches detected. Before the system can label them, the data goes encrypted. The monitors flash white, and then dark. But the world outside doesn't know this yet. On social media, early risers notice a few strange videos uploaded from across the ocean, grainy footage of lights streaking through a dim sky, a shaky camera catching a horizon flash brighter than lightning, a confused voice whispering in disbelief. At first, it's dismissed as CGI, a prank, a weird satellite flare. But more clips appear, more angles, more frantic voices, and suddenly, the pattern is too precise to ignore. In the time it takes for someone to take a sip of coffee, the world's digital pulse accelerates. Confusion swells into panic. Panic swells into truth. At 6:23 a.m., newsrooms across multiple nations receive encrypted emergency messages. Not explanations, just 3 words repeated across every channel: monitor and hold. Producers stare at their screens. Anchors touch their earpieces. Nobody knows whether to speak or wait. Silence fills the spaces between breaths. But the world doesn't wait. Phones buzz in bedrooms. Tablets glow in kitchens. Screens light up in offices. Push notifications appear, first hesitant, then bold. Unverified reports of major explosions. Satellite irregularities detected. Unusual activity observed. No one uses the word war. Not yet. The world clings to denial. On a subway car in New York City, passengers lift their heads as everyone's phones vibrate at once. People look at one another, the same shared confusion mirrored in dozens of faces. One man jokes nervously about a solar flare. A woman near him shakes her head, whispering, "This feels like something else." The intercom crackles. The train slows. The lights flicker. Someone gasps. The car goes dark for 2 seconds. When the lights return, the silence is heavy and charged. In a high-rise office in Chicago, employees crowd around a set of wall-mounted screens that flicker between news channels. One anchor stares into the camera, hesitating mid-sentence. She glances off-screen, pauses, then says, "We're waiting for confirmation, but early satellite observations indicate." And then her audio cuts out. The image freezes. The station logo flickers. The screen turns black. On the West Coast, a tech engineer steps outside her apartment and notices the sky holding a strange copper tint that shouldn't exist at this hour. A light breeze rolls through, but instead of cooling her skin, it leaves behind a static prickle. Her smartwatch glitches. Her phone refuses to unlock. She looks up again, sensing something unsaid, something colossal shifting above. Electricity grids across the country hiccup simultaneously. Not enough to cause outages, just enough for every device to blink. Refrigerators hum louder. Power lines buzz with an odd rhythm. Networks reroute. Satellites stall for fractions of seconds. AI traffic systems lag, backing up intersections. Autonomous delivery drones hover midair, recalibrating, confused. The world doesn't fall apart, not yet. It wavers. It destabilizes. It breathes wrong. And then, at 6:45 a.m., the moment arrives that will define the century. Every smartphone, every tablet, every smart TV, every connected device on the East Coast lights up with the same horrifying alert tone, the one reserved for national emergencies. A sharp, echoing siren slices through morning kitchens, commuter trains, office buildings, classrooms, bedrooms, stores. People freeze, hands trembling over screens. And the message appears in stark, merciless text. National emergency level raised. Remain indoors. Stand by for official instruction. No details, no reassurance, no explanation. Just the blunt fact that something massive, something unstoppable, something unthinkable is unfolding this very moment.